How's it going, guys? It's I think I'm gonna go to bed. Let's get a little bit of a light action here, and I'll show you what I've been up to. Not much yesterday. In fact, nothing yesterday. But today I was playing a little bit. Not much happening on the car. Got a bit more welding to do on this one. But I don't know if you can see that with the trouble light or not. Got a bit of welding to redo right there, but that's the fender patch panel. So it turned out good. I don't know if you can see from the top, it's fairly straight. The door is done. What else did I do? Oh yeah. There we go. This bucket was really bad. Couldn't get it to line up, so I took it off and straightened it up so we can put the air dam on that we're modifying. See if I can show you. So you got a pattern out there. I already cut one piece out from that end. Made it fit so it just barely fit. Yeah. I'll show you what I did with it. I'm having a heck of a time with my feet today. My legs just aren't working very well. We had a few hot days and I overdid it. So now I get to pay. It's like walking on marbles. I have to watch every footstep. Frustrating as hell. Just as I was starting to feel better, my legs are crapping out on me. But it's kind of a good feeling at the same time. Sorry about that. It's about midnight. I just finished watching the Stanley Cup. LA won it. Anyway, you remember the quarter panel. Fairly straight. I got just some ripples here to work out, but starting down here it's just bad. When Dave made this, it really gave a lot of strength, but part of the problem is there's no inner fender, and the back is all torn up and really not worth salvaging. So figure if I cut it out right along there and just at the top of the light, and then just follow it down, and then I can kind of tuck it in and re-weld Dave's wheel lip onto it. So what I did with that pattern I have cut out there is this is what I've bent up so far. And of course it's got a series of curves going. So, but I think this will be our best bet for fixing this corner. One of those awkward things where, there we go. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I think that's going to work out a lot nicer than trying to hammer and dolly that. You know, I'm going to have to do some shrinking there, but I can hide that seam under here. That seam I can blend in, and then it'll just be the welds there and there. And I copied, when I made the template for it, I actually made the template and then test fitted on the right side as well, knowing that I can use it on both sides. I'm just shutting down, but I figured I'd give you a 2-minute update so I can actually make it under 15. Come on, light. So, this one didn't look quite so bad, but you have to remember it's full of Bondo. And it's really been lunched, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of work around here too. So, that's about it. Now if I can get the light somewhere useful. Use the tripod for the light. One more patch that I have made. This is a question out to the body men out there that have dealt with this stuff before. Okay, we got by the filler here, we've got rust and we've got damage. So it's not finished shaping yet, but I actually made this replacement panel that will go on there. And then we can put the door back on. So, I've got it fitting really well. I traced where I have to cut. But here's the $64 question. This is the filler. And if you look, I don't know if I can show it. See if I can get the angle just right. You can see light through it. It's a vented cap. Obviously a problem. So, how do I cut this off without making sparks? And how do I weld the new one on without making sparks? Or, how do I block that off to prevent the fumes from igniting on me? The only thing I could think of is putting some heavy plastic over the cap on the inside, screwing that on there, putting a piece of duct tape on the outside, and actually putting a wet rag inside this area here. You know, I've changed fuel filters on cars. Underneath, I've heated brake lines and cut all sorts of shocks off and everything really close to fuel lines and brake lines and stuff like that. And I've never had a problem But that was different because unless I breached those lines, I just had to make sure they didn't get too hot. But here is a case where I actually have vapor. There is fuel in the tank. I'm not sure how much, but I would venture to say we got at least half a tank in there. So there are going to be vapors. One of the other things I thought about was just using my my air shear and tin snips and cutting the patch out, leaving a slight overlap, and just using pop rivets. I know that would be the safest way to do it. And then I could just, cave and pave it. But I kind of like to do it with welding because it's going to last longer, less chance of it cracking if we get hit. So there's the $64 question. How do I work it that close to a vented gas cap without blowing myself up? I have my ideas of how I'm going to do it. I've mentioned a couple of them to you. And guys like HPR and Darren and Pisser, you guys are doing this kind of stuff a lot more often than I am. So, and there's others out there too that do this sort of thing on a regular basis or do it for a living. I throw it out to you. The Iceman wants to keep us cool. So, anyway, just gonna shut down now that I've shown you what I got going. I'm gonna do a little bit tomorrow. Scott said he'd likely come out and do a little work on the car. And once that's done, we've got other things going at the same time, so anyway, like I said, my 2-minute update is once again turning out to be a 15-minute, isn't it? Just wetting down some chemical stuff we sprayed on the rust here. And I'll have to wire brush it tomorrow. Anyway, I'm hitting the 15-minute mark, so gonna call her quits for the night. I'd appreciate leaving comments, and I'd like some advice on what to do there. So take it easy. Have a good one.